how do you get to be wealthy? Do what wealthy people do. That's what you do. Do what wealthy people do. But, people who have money that, big money, they're really smart about money. They're not idiots, and they have the best advisors out there. So here are 2 things that they do that you should do that you want to copy.
Welcome to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host, Jonathan Berglund, and with me here in the studio, as always, Michael Reese, certified financial planning professional for over 25 years, helping those of you out there in radio land get to and through retirement successfully. How's it going, Mike?
Going fantastic. And Jonathan, by the way, don't forget, yes, you and I are in studio, but we do have a special guest tonight.
Oh, indeed.
Right beside you, we have Benny the tax
the most attractive creature ever.
Yes, Benny the tax monster.
He does haunt us throughout our sessions here.
That is one goofy-looking guy.
I know it's tough times out there in the market right now, and some people may be a little anxious, perhaps, on what retirement might bring, or can they retire now, right?
Yeah, markets are certainly not cooperating, right? They're having a little fun this year, and here's the thing, right? We know that the markets don't cooperate every year. We know that. We know when we invest money in the market that some years we make money, some years we lose money. But the idea is that over time, right, if we have enough time, the good years and the bad years kind of, cross each other out, and we should end up with some positive rate of return.
Right. That's
the goal. The challenge with all of this, though, is that the timing of the good years and bad years, while you're younger, it doesn't really matter. But when you're getting close to retirement, it can have an enormous impact on your lifestyle after you retire.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you retire and you're not set up the right way, you may end up finding yourself having to go back to work.
Unretired, yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're wanting to retire in the near future and you're not set up the right way, maybe suddenly you don't retire. So we talk about this a lot on the show and in the office about how you want to plan right for retirement. Mm-hmm. And RIGHT is an acronym. R is for risk. You got to manage risk. I is income. No income, no retirement. G is growth. You still have to grow your money because of inflation. H is healthcare. And of course, T is taxes. So I want to share a little story of, we had a very nice family come in. And in fact, they're listening to the radio show.
Yeah,
and they called in. They wanted their Retire Right report, which we provided for them, of course. But let me share a little bit about their situation. I'm going to change their names. Let's call them John and Mary.
Okay. Classic
John and Mary. And he entered, he was 62 years old. And she's like 59, I think, a few years younger. But anyway, he had entered the year, January 1. Had about $800,000 in his 401k.
Doing well.
And his plan, and now his wife, Mary, already retired. But John, I went with John and Mary, right?
You did, yes.
I never can
keep you on track.
John, his plan was this. He's like, this is my last year. I'm going to work this year and I'm done. Mm-hmm. And the idea is I've got $800,000. This is how he started the year. I have $800,000. And I figure I'm going to add some more money, add another $25,000 or whatever the max $26,000 is. The company's going to match. So I'll have another 30 going in. So I'll be at 830, get a little bit of growth. I'll be, right around getting close to about 900,000. And he goes, when I retire, I'll need about $3,000 a month, about $36,000 a year. You do the math, that's about 4% on the button, pretty close to it. Yeah. That should work out great.
Makes sense.
He's on track. Everything is fabulous as he entered the year. Well, when he came to us, he's like, okay, now here's my problem. I'm halfway through the year.
Yeah.
I started the year with 800,000. I figured I should end the year close to 9 with contributions and a little bit of growth.
Mm-hmm.
What was the problem, Jonathan?
Didn't work out. Markets did not cooperate this year.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he says, my problem is I'm more at like 650 at this point.
Yeah. Oof.
Because why? He was all market-based. He thought he was diversified because he had like 7 different mutual funds.
Yeah.
But the reality is a lot of those funds were doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now here he is. Imagine this. Now he's at 650. He's still got to add money. But by the end of the year, knock on wood, he'll be closer to 700 than 900. Heck, he might be more like 600 if the markets keep going down.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to retire at the end of the year?
It's not looking like it.
So his options are this. 1, work more.
Yeah.
Don't retire. Keep working.
Fun. Yeah.
Nobody likes that option. 2, take less income, spend less money in retirement. Is that a good option?
That's a rub too.
Also no good, right? And so he's kind of at his wit's end. He comes just like, what do I do? What do I do? Now, good news for him, we were able to put together a retirement rescue plan, we call it, where we were able to say, hey, let's take what you have, let's rearrange how you have it invested, and let's set it up in such a way that you can still retire on time, but do it with comfort and peace of mind. Have the same income he needs, right? He's got where we can give him enough income. We can make it all work out, right? We were able to make it all work out, but he had to make some changes, right? But here's the thing. How many people are out there, Jonathan, that are just like that?
Yeah.
You know, my wife, she plays tennis, and she was telling me the other day, she says, man, I've had like 2 or 3 of the ladies I play tennis with that have expressed a similar story as John and Mary. You know, they were planning on retiring here in the next year or 2, and the money that they've been counting on to retire, it's like vanishing before their eyes.
Yeah, it's disappearing.
So what I really want to talk about tonight is, you know, how do you go about securing your retirement plan? How do you, if you're in a bad spot, how do you rescue it? Like, how do we do a retirement rescue? How do we secure your retirement? Like, my belief is, you know, you've been working, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years. You've been working a long time. You've been saving money for a long time. Don't you deserve to enjoy a retirement free of financial concerns? Don't you deserve to enjoy a retirement where you can kind of do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you never have to worry about your money?
Yeah.
Don't you deserve that? See, I believe you do. I truly believe you do. But here is the problem. There's a big problem that gets in the way. A couple problems. But the big problem is this. An investment plan is not a retirement plan.
Well said.
You know, you think, oh, I've got my money set up to invest. It's diversified. And odds are good that it's set up for growth and accumulation as the kind of the goal.
Yep.
Trying to grow your money, accumulate. And by the way, when you're working, that makes perfect sense.
It works. Yep.
That is exactly what you should be doing. The problem is that retirement is different. Retirement is radically and fundamentally different. When you are working, you are adding money to your savings. And how you invest when you're adding money to your savings is very different from when you retire. And now suddenly we're not adding anymore. What are we doing, Jonathan?
Yeah, you're hopefully conserving and then distributing, right?
Yeah, you're taking money out.
Yeah.
You're not adding, you're distributing.
Yep. Keyword.
Very different investment process involved. It's night and day. And the problem is so many people out there, and maybe you're one of them, you're like, man, I've got this really wonderful advisor. They're a great person. And they are. But the problem is they know how to do growth and accumulation.
Right.
They don't know how to do retirement.
Yeah. You've come up the mountain. Now you have to go down.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I would say I want to stay on the top of the mountain.
There you go. Well said.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go down.
How do we keep from tumbling down? Yeah, exactly.
But I don't want to tumble down. I want to make sure my money lasts. See, here's the thing. Investing for growth and accumulation has one focus. How do I make the pot bigger?
Yep.
Investing for retirement has a different focus. How do I maintain my pot? How do I take money out of it?
Income, right.
How do I make sure it lasts as long as I do? Right? How do I still grow it because I'm worried about inflation? How do I deal with my taxes? What do I do about health care?
Yeah.
When should I take my Social Security? Right?
Yeah.
All kinds of questions that your typical advisor doesn't know how to answer. So these are the things you need to think about. You need to think about if you're going to be retiring sooner, if you've already retired, how do you secure your retirement? You have to retire right. you have to have a plan to manage the R and write your risk. You need to have a plan to generate income that lasts as long as you do. Part of that plan is making the right choices on your Social Security timing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a plan for G, how you're going to grow your money. You need to have a plan for H, healthcare. What are you going to do about your healthcare expenses? Because they're going to get higher over time.
Yep.
And then finally, the big, I'm looking at Benny, our special guest, when I say this. What are you going to do about T, your tax situation? A lot of your money might be in a 401k, 403b. Guess what? All taxable. You're going to pay a boatload of tax as it comes out. How do you protect yourself from the IRS? We had this conversation the other day. There are two things that really wealthy people know.
Yeah, I remember this. This is
that
good.
The average person messes up. Okay?
Yeah, get your pencil out.
Here we go. If you, these are like, how do you get to be wealthy? Do what wealthy people do. That's what you do. Do what wealthy people do. But people who have money that, big money, they're really smart about money. They're not idiots, and they have the best advisors out there. So here are two things that they do that you should do that you want to copy. Number one, they never, ever, ever let the tax tail wag the investment dog. So
expand on that. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
So here's the thing. Let's say they invest in a company, ABC company.
Okay.
And that company goes up in value. They're like, wow, this is awesome. I invested $1 million. It's now worth $5 million.
Hey.
Right?
All right.
Here's what and now though, they're saying, okay, I've made my money. Now it's time to do something different. Time to sell that stock and cash it out, take my gains, go do something else. At no point do they think to themselves, oh, golly, if I do this, I'm going to have to pay a capital gains tax, and I don't want to pay a capital gains tax, so I think I'm going to freeze and do nothing.
Yeah, indefinitely, right?
At no point does that ever cross their minds. They say, hey, I sell the stock because I made money, and it's time to move on. Mm-hmm. If I owe a capital gains tax, who cares? It's the cheapest tax out there.
Yep.
And by the way, if I don't sell now, the stupid thing could go back down. I could lose all the money I made. And then what good is it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The only way to avoid the capital gain is lose all your money.
Yeah, right.
They don't do that. Yet the average person all the time is frozen in fear like, oh, I can't sell that stock at a gain. I might have to pay a capital gains tax. So what?
Yeah.
You should be celebrating.
That's right. Have a capital gains party, right?
Yes, this is awesome. It means you did well.
Yes.
It means you won.
Yep.
Right? Don't, it's just so silly. Okay, that's number one.
Number one.
Number two. The number two thing that wealthy people do that the average person doesn't. The wealthy people, when they have their investment positions, typically they have some kind of a stop loss where they say, hey, that I invested in 10 different things, right? 4 of them went up, 4 of them are around the same, and I got 2 losers.
Mm-hmm.
Do they sit there and say, oh, my goodness, I have 2 losers. I can't sell those when they're down.
Yeah,
I've got to wait for them to go up.
Better hang on, right?
Better hang on for it to turn around. No, they say, look, something's going down. They know, they understand everything they invest in does not make money. And the secret is limit your losses and ride your winners.
Yeah.
Limit your losers, ride your winners. That's what you want to do. And so like the other day, I'm talking to this couple and they're saying, well, we were at 1.3 million. Now we're down to 1 million. When we get back up to 1.3 million, then we're going to do something.
Yeah.
Like, well, that tells me that you're not thinking clearly. That's not a good decision. Because a good decision is, I was at 1.3 million, it's down to 1 million, and this is moving in a direction I don't like.
Right.
You don't sit there and take it. You do something about it. Wealthy people do not sit there and say, well, I guess I'll scratch my head and wait for the markets to decide to help me.
Right.
Because the markets don't care about you.
They don't care.
What wealthy people do is they say, you know what? This is going in the wrong direction. let's cut our losses, get out, and let's do something else that has a better chance of working. That's what they do, right? And here's the reality. These same people, their cost basis was maybe 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
They went up from 400,000 to 1.3. Now they're down to 1 million. They're still at a big gain. You never sell at the very top. You never buy at the very bottom. Don't be making the mistake. One of the big issues with securing your retirement, rescuing your retirement, do not sit there and say, oh, my accounts are going in the wrong direction. I better do nothing until they turn around. That's the worst decision you can make. The worst decision. Because guess what? They may not be done going down. Stop the bleeding. If it's not working, change. It's that simple. Yet too many people are frozen. Yeah. So they feel, I haven't topped out, which is really not, that's not clear thinking.
Yeah. Or maybe they don't know what to do differently, right? And
right. That might be, that might be the other issue, right? But the reality is if it's not, I'm telling you right now, if your accounts aren't doing, if you are losing more money than you ever expected to lose, or you're losing more than you're comfortable with, just move to cash and then give us a call and let's figure out how can we structure your assets a little more appropriately.
Right.
Because guess what? You probably you're investing in growth and accumulation mode, which is fine if you've got more than 10 years for a retirement. Like if you're more than 10 years out of retirement, you can handle the ups and downs. Who cares? But if you're within 10 years of retirement, what if you've already retired? You can't take that same kind of risk, right? You got to be smarter. Now, real quickly, let's go back to John and Mary. John started the year at 800,000. He was expecting to be closer to 900,000 by the end of the year with a little bit of growth and some contributions between him and his company and his 401k. He was going to retire. Say, I start the year with 800, I finish the year around 900k, and I retire, take my 3,000 a month.
Right, glorious.
And halfway through the year, he's at 650, right? Nothing close to what he was expecting. And I said, hey, we were able to help him rescue his retirement. We were able to put together a retirement rescue plan for him. So what did we do? Well, the first thing we did is we said, hey, you got all these losers. We got to stop the bleeding.
Yep. Let's
move to cash first, right? Let's refigure this. Let's
reset. Yeah.
Reset the whole thing, right? Yep. Then we'd say, okay, how are we going to solve for income first? Because if you don't have income, you don't have retirement. He needed $3,000 a month, $36,000, right? So on the 650, we said, hey, let's take a chunk of that and let's put it in something safe that gets a decent return and will generate that $36,000 a year that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we were able to do it, it would generate that income for probably 15 years, something like that.
Sure.
And then let's take the rest of the money. That money we can put more towards growth and accumulation. But instead of a buy and hold approach, let's use something that's a little more tactical in nature, something that when the markets are going well, we can be a little more aggressive. But when the markets are bad, we can be more defensive, right? So we're adjusting to, based on what the markets are doing, right? That's a lower risk way to invest, but gives you potentially better returns.
I like it.
We put that together for him, and he was able to see, like light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
You mean if I do this, I can still retire when I want to, even though my accounts are down? Yeah, but you can't keep doing what you're doing. You got to do something different.
Yeah, make a change. Exactly.
And from his perspective, he's like, well, I'd be kind of stupid not to, right? He goes, I don't know if the markets are going to go back up between now and the end of the year. In fact, I don't think they're going. I think they're going to keep going down.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do something if I want to retire to protect my income. So we helped him reformat things, and he's off and running. What about you? What about you? Where are you with your retirement planning? A lot of you out there listening are within a couple of years of retirement. You're looking at your accounts. Maybe you're scared to open your statements.
Yeah.
But if you look at your accounts, you're down pretty significantly. And let's be honest, it's very possible that the markets keep going south. See, proper planning is all about how do you win when the markets cooperate, when times are good? But it's also, how do you win when markets do not cooperate, when times are bad? In other words, we want to hope for the best, but what do we plan for?
The worst. Exactly.
You plan for the worst. So many of you out there, you don't have a plan, because if things go well, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if things go poorly, you're not.
You're just hoping.
That's not a plan. That's hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, look, that's great if you're, you're a high school kid. You want to hope for stuff. But if you're an adult, and we're talking about your retirement, I think your retirement deserves more attention than I hope it all works out.
Yeah.
I think it deserves a true plan. It is time for, it may not be your favorite segment of the week, but it's certainly mine.
It's ours. I mean, I'd agree.
It's ours.
Fun.
This is our most fun. And the name of this segment is called What I Would Do If I Were King for a Day.
Always fun.
I love this. So here's what we do this week, or what we do every week. If I'm king for a day, I make two laws.
Yes.
Like, one law is financially based, and the other law is just general,
like everyday life. Yeah.
Right? General life. So this week, I've got a couple good ones here lined up.
And I don't know these, by the way. These are secret this week. We haven't talked about them, so I'm just as surprised as you are out there.
Yeah. So all of you listening, you're going to hear my new laws or my thoughts,
yes,
as Jonathan does as well. So here we go. The first one. Let's do the financial one first.
Okay. All right.
It really annoys me.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
It really annoys me how people take out loans and then they don't want to pay them back. It's like, I want to borrow money, but I don't want to give it back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To me, this is a character issue. And what I find most annoying is this idea in the media that we should pay off these loans, these college loans that these kids have taken out to pay for college.
Right.
And now they're in a job and they can't pay it back. Right. Or they don't want to pay it back.
Some combination thereof.
Or they're just not financially adult enough to pay it back. Right. And here's what happens all the time. It's like, oh, I'm probably, if I'm not intending to offend anybody out there. Right. And I'm not. So if this is you, I'm not trying to offend you. All I'm saying is this. If you go to a college and take out $100,000 or more of student loans, and your idea is that I'm going to get a degree in art history or something like that,
right?
Then what are you doing? There's not a chance you're going to get a job out there where you're going to make enough money to pay off your loan. So why are you even doing that? It drives me crazy that these kids are out there, they're taking on loans to get degrees that are, they don't make any money. Like, okay, I'm going to go here. My niece went out. She got a degree in zoology. Like, okay. She wants to work in a zoo.
Yeah.
Which is great. Do you know what you get paid working in a zoo with a 4-year college degree?
Not enough. I can tell you that.
$14 an hour.
Yeah. My
16-year-old daughter makes more than that as a hostess at a restaurant.
Yep.
So, now, by the way, my niece is lucky. Her dad paid for everything. What if she had to take out loans for all this? She'd never be able to pay this off. And then here's what they do. All these college kids who have done this, they were, first they make stupid decisions because they say, I'm going to take a bunch of loan money and then I'm going to do it to pursue this degree where I'm going to make no money, right? So already that's a stupid decision. Let's call it what it is. And then they're like whining about it because they were stupid and now they want the taxpayer to bail them out. Now, who's bailing them out? Who is bailing them out? It's not free. It's not the government. It's you and me paying for their stupid decisions. And you know what else it is? It's like, what about all those people that decided I'm not even going to go to college?
Yeah, or have already paid them off.
Yeah, they paid off. They were actually adults. They paid off their loans, or they don't want to go to college. They went out and they decided, I'm going to be a plumber. I'm going to work in the construction industry. I'm going to be, whatever. They followed a trade. They made a smart decision. They said, I don't want to go to college. I'm not going to take that on. I'm going to make money now. And they're out making money. And guess what? By paying off these student loans, those people are paying off the loans of these idiot kids who decide to take on more, all these huge loans to pursue a degree that makes no money. Right? And that offends me. I find that offensive. I find it completely offensive. So as king, I thought about what law could I pass that would help fix this problem? And I thought originally like a great law, Jonathan, would be, this is me ranting tonight.
Yeah,
right?
You got this glare in your eye. I know. I'm just letting you go.
a great law would be this concept of anyone who brings up the idea of paying off student loans, should be hit with paintballs by everyone that's paid off their own student loan.
Everybody gets a turn.
If you've paid off your own student loan, here's a paintball gun. Now fire away at this helpless person who thinks that you, after doing what you're supposed to do, need to help out, basically need to cover the debts of someone that, is just not being, it's like, right? At first I thought about that. And I thought that'd be fun. But then I thought, you know what? We need to nip this problem in the bud.
Yep.
Here's what I think. I think what you do is this. When you apply for a student loan, you have to, on that loan, say, this is the degree I'm working towards, and this is the job I'm working towards. Because there's information on what those jobs pay.
Sure.
And then based on what those jobs pay, that determines how much of a student loan you can get.
Yeah, it's like borrowing power. What is your borrowing power, right? Just like any other loan you go out to
You go out and buy a house. You want to get a house?
Yeah.
You got to say, well, what's my income and all that kind of stuff. So here, what if we made a law where we said if you want to get a student loan, that loan has to be linked to your potential earnings power, right? For the job you're working towards.
So we actually have to do some loan underwriting is what you're saying.
It doesn't have to
just a free loan.
It doesn't have to be like intense, just something basic.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with that one.
That's fair. That makes sense.
That way everyone can still get these loans, but the amount of loan you get is linked to what you could potentially earn in the real world once you get your degree. That's my idea. How do we feel about it?
I'm on board with that. I think that would be good. It'd be helpful for people too. If you sit in that loan app and hey, you get rejected, it might make you rethink things, right?
There you go. Right?
Yeah.
All right. That's my idea.
Okay.
I'm sticking to it. So with that, it is law.
There you have it.
Okay, so I've just got done ranting.
Yeah.
Now there's one more thing that drives me crazy.
Uh-oh.
For tonight.
Just for today. Yeah.
I'm at HEB.
HEB is a common place for you to.
I'm going to HEB. Love HEB. Actually, my wife loves me to stop at HEB to pick up stuff for her.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I go to HEB. I'm pulling into my parking spot. And, I pull in a parking spot. And what's in front of me? Somebody has left a shopping cart in a parking spot.
I already knew it before you even said it. Yep.
They were too darn lazy to just walk the 20 steps to put the shopping cart
it's
back
probably like
in the
two
corral.
spots down, right? Where they could have put it. Yeah.
While I'm parking, I saw another lady do exactly the same thing in the aisle right across from me.
Mm.
And I am a believer that nothing reveals your character more than what you do with your shopping cart when you're done. Do you return your shopping cart to the corrals that are provided in the, because they're all over the place, these corrals in the parking lot. None of them are far away. Or are you the loser who, like the complete scumbag who doesn't do that? Because, if you're not returning your shopping cart, I think our world would be better off without you almost.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? That tells us everything I need to know about you.
It really does. I totally
come
agree with that.
on.
Drives me crazy. And then they're like loose in the parking lot. Maybe they roll downhill and hit somebody's car or what. It's just like, come on.
Yeah. This to me is like basic consideration for fellow human beings.
Right.
So here's the deal. This is what I believe. I believe that when you get a shopping cart, here's what we should do, because we have the technology for this. You have to do your little thumbprint or something when you collect the shopping cart, right?
Yep.
And you're linked to that cart, like a little RFID chip in that cart.
That's your cart. Okay.
And when you are in the parking lot, if you don't return that shopping cart to its little corral, alarm sirens go off and everybody sees it, right?
Yeah.
And then also located around the shopping cart, we talked about paintballs earlier. What if there's little red paintball guns? Everyone out there has the right to grab a paintball gun and start firing at you, right? And just plaster you, your vehicle, and all of those around, well, not all those around you, but that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You deserve that. If you can't freaking return your shopping cart, then you know what? I pretty much hate you.
It is a frustrating thing for sure. I mean,
here's the reality. If you're the kind of person that doesn't return your shopping cart and I'm offending you right now, I probably don't care.
Yeah, Mike definitely doesn't care.
I really probably don't care. Return your darn carts, okay, people?
It's not that hard. Yeah.
I know. So anyway,
walk it over.
That's me having a little fun with ranting on shopping carts. So
that's a good one.
My law is return your darn shopping cart. Shopping carts must be returned. If not, you are pelted with paintballs. How about that? And they hurt.
They do.
They hurt.
Get some welts, yeah.
You good with me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. With that, it is law. If you're retired, if you're nearing retirement, you need to understand, this is so vital, you need to understand that retirement is different than when you're working. It is fundamentally different.
Yep.
And because it's fundamentally different, you need to fundamentally change how you manage your money. An investment plan is not a retirement plan. In fact, it's not even close. And so what we want to talk about here is, what do you need to do to make some of those changes so that you can truly enjoy the retirement of your dreams? So I'm a big believer that retirement should be the best time of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Retirement should be the time of your life where you can basically do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you have enough money flowing in, month out to support those activities, and you have full confidence that your money will last. That's what it should be about. You shouldn't be worrying about money. You should be focusing on how you're going to make your mark in the world, right?
Yeah.
Hey, or said another way, are you going to make, do you want to travel? Do you want to go visit grandchildren? Do you want to contribute to a charity? Whatever it is. That's where your time and attention should be.
Yep.
Right? It's kind of like we have these clients. They were sending me pictures. They were out visiting their family out in Oregon.
Yeah.
Right? And they said, hey, just send a picture. They just retired. And so this was their first, we really just want to go hang out with our family for a month. And that's what they did.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And they fired us a little picture, said, hey, check it out. That's what retirement should be about. It shouldn't be about, what's the market doing today?
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter what the market's doing today. If you need to worry about what the market is doing today, you don't have a retirement plan. It's that simple. You should be your retirement should be based on math and not markets. It is that simple. So, how do you make sure you enjoy a secure retirement? These are the areas you need to address. And we talk about it in our Retire Right report. RIGHT, R-I-G-H-T, that is an acronym, right? Which means each letter stands for a word. The R stands for risk. Risk is, there's a lot of areas you have risk in retirement.
Yeah.
It might be market risk. It might be inflation risk. Maybe it's health risk. A lot of different areas. But you need to manage your risk first and foremost. There's so many ways that, one little thing goes wrong and it blows everything up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't let that be
so I'll give you an example. My grandparents. Let's talk about my grandparents. My grandfather was a big believer in investing in blue chip dividend paying stocks.
Okay.
When he retired, his entire income, his portfolio income was based on the dividends from those blue chip stocks.
Sure.
Problem. Are dividends guaranteed?
They are not.
Are they insured?
No.
Are they stable?
No.
You want them to be.
Hopefully they are, but I mean, no, not guaranteed. That's for sure.
But the first time the market goes south, he retired at the end of the 60s. What happened in the early 70s?
Yeah, we had some turbulent times. Yes.
Yeah, OPEC, lines. It was horrible. He saw his dividends get reduced, so his income was reduced. And to make up income, he's like, well, that's okay. I'll just sell some stock positions. But the problem was those were also down.
Yes.
So he started creating this downward spiral. It didn't take long. And guess what? My grandfather, who retired very comfortably, ended up basically running out of money. He had to sell the family cottage, right? Yeah. He had to sell the family cottage because he couldn't afford it anymore. And that just broke him. So little mistake on risk. The mistake was what? I think I'm good. I feel like I'm good. I have a lot of confidence I'm good because all of these companies had track records of paying dividends for 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Risk. Market went south. It all blew up on him. Okay? We're seeing a lot of people this year are seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They thought they were diversified. Market goes south. Suddenly they're losing 20% plus. And they're like, what the heck's going on?
Yep. Can't retire anymore this year, right?
Yeah. Here's another risk. So my grandfather dies. Thank God he had life insurance. Good decision on his part. And now grandma, she's back in shape. She's in good shape now. But she forgot about planning for her health care. She gets Alzheimer's, right? And boom, next thing you know, spends all of her money on nursing home spend down, dies with nothing, dies broken, penniless. Now, this is my grandparents who retired with over $1 million in today's dollars. They lose it all at once because of bad investment decisions, right? Investment decisions, by the way, that did well for him when he was working.
Sure.
They worked really well when he was working. Didn't work in retirement. Then he died, left her a bunch of life insurance. Fixed it. Fixed the problem with life insurance. Life insurance fixes a lot of things. But then, another mistake, didn't plan for nursing home, and now it's gone again, right? Grew their retirement savings to $1 million in today's dollars, lost it all, made it back, lost it all again. All because of small mistakes. So the R is risk. What are you doing to manage your risk in retirement? Okay, that's really important. How are you de-risking your retirement? Are you having conversations with your advisor about de-risking your retirement? And if not, maybe you should be talking to us. What's I? I is income. No income, no retirement.
That's right.
Bottom line, you must protect your income. Retirement's like 20 to 30 years of unemployment.
Yes. Permanent unemployment.
How are you protecting your income in retirement? How are you doing that? Guess what? If your answer is, I'm just taking money from the portfolio, my advisor says I'm good. You're not good. Odds are really good that you're not good. Right?
Well said.
You got to protect your income. G is growth. So RIGHT, G is growth. You still have to grow your money.
Yes, absolutely.
You still have to grow it.
Yep.
Got to worry about inflation. H, healthcare. How are you going to pay for healthcare when it happens? Do you have enough money? Can you pay out of pocket?
Right.
Do you have insurance? A lot of people are using life insurance these days. Are you looking at these options? Because you got it. This is one of those areas where you got to do something when you don't need it.
Right.
So that you have it when you do need it.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
You got to do something when you don't need it so you have it when you do need it, which stinks, but that's how it is. It's called being an adult with your planning.
Yep.
And then the last one, T, my favorite topic.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Benny right now here in the studio. He's got this chain and it's labeled bling.
Yeah.
You know how these people have bling?
It would be bling, yes.
He's got this chain bling. It says IRS on it. Benny the tax monster. We hate this guy. I'm a big believer that it is important that you pay the IRS what you owe them.
Definitely.
But I'm also a big believer that you don't pay them a penny more. And all too often, families, everyday families, because they don't pay attention to tax planning, they end up giving the IRS tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars more than they have to. It's just money wasted.
Yep.
Now, I don't care if you waste money doing things you like to do.
Sure.
Like, hey, I've got a friend. They like going to the casino. They'll take 10 grand to the casino. If they lose it, they don't care because that's their play. They have fun money. And they enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's burning through money. I wouldn't do it, but they do it. But what I don't want is I don't want you burning it by giving it to the IRS.
Right.
I'd rather have you keep it in your family, right? Keep it for you. What are you doing on your tax planning every year? Do you sit down with your advisor every year and discuss your tax planning and look at strategies that you can use to reduce your taxes over time? Are you doing that? I'll bet most of it, as you're listening, I'll bet you're not, because I know most people don't.
Yeah, probably shaking your head out there. Yeah.
No. Now, if you're running a business, you might be doing that because, hey, a tax person can charge a business a lot of money to do that stuff,
Right.
but not an individual.
Mm-hmm.
So whose job is it to help you with your tax planning? Probably your financial advisor. Are they doing their job? Are they helping you with tax planning? And if they're not, guess what? Again, you probably don't have a retirement plan. You probably have an investment plan. They're not the same thing. If you want to secure your retirement, you absolutely need to get these areas right. You got to manage risk. You've got to manage your income, protect that income. Mm-hmm. You've got to still grow your money. You've got to protect yourself against healthcare, and you've got to keep your taxes to a minimum. You got to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting that right now, this is your opportunity. Here's what we're going to do. Provided you saved at least $200,000 for retirement, we will prepare for you, absolutely free, no obligation, a personalized Retire Right report. It's a report that helps you understand how you're doing in each of these areas, right, and give you good options, like good solutions to putting you in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jonathan, this is a no-brainer. I don't know why our listeners wouldn't want this.
Yeah.
What number do they call? How does it work?
That's right. Connect with us. Set up a time. 512-886-5850. Again, the number's 512-886-5850.
All right, folks. 512-886-5850. Give us a call now. It's after hours. He'll set up a time where you can talk to Jonathan, my partner in crime here.
That's right.
And he will help get you situated. That's our show this week. I hope you enjoy your week. We'll talk to you next week.